finally have a diagnosis. Sorry. Something is wrong with my brain. Good morning. So IR still hasn't been in. A lot of other doctors have been though. They stopped my fluids because my sodium was high and they're pumping me with sodium, and so still pumping me is gonna cause more problems, but then it's also causing problems being off. Hi, Daddy. So they are gonna see if they can maybe find something to pump me with that doesn't have any sodium in it. So apparently I'm getting an EEG, which is like they put a whole bunch of stickers on my head and see my brain activity.
They'll have to shave your head.
They're not going to shave my head. So apparently the EEG people are actually coming right now, and we are still waiting on IR to come examine me to decide if they're gonna give me surgery. So I just had my EEG. We weren't allowed to videotape anything, but she did let us take pictures. So I'll put the pictures in here.
The blue toothpaste stuff is a cleaning gel to help the electrodes stick better, and the white paste above it is a conductor to help the electrodes read better. It picks up the vibes. She had to measure and mark my face to see where to put the electrode stickers, and this is her putting them on. It was weird. This is them on, and this is during the test. I actually fell asleep, which is good, she said. Also, she can tell by looking at the screen that I'm sleep deprived. So she said it helps them read, it helps the doctors know if I'm having seizure activity or anything in my brain, and they had to strobe a light to see how my brain reacted to that as well. After she took them off, it was really messy. All that stuff was gross in my hair.
So now she wiped me off, but as you can see, I was pretty dirty, so I'm gonna take a shower. So, waiting for the nurse to come in and put a shower cover on. Okay, so I actually have 2 IVs right now. So what happened was I needed to have a new IV Sunday night because it was time for my IV to change. So they put a new IV in, and then yesterday they stopped my fluids, but they didn't flush it and it got clogged. So they were like, oh, we need to give you IV medicine, so they started a new IV. And then after the new IV was started, they were able to unclog it. So
it's because it wasn't clogged, it was occluded.
Oh, it was occluded, not clogged.
So it just needed moved a little bit.
It just needed moved around. So anyway, I have 2 IVs for the first time in forever. So that's cool. So I'm gonna take a shower, and we are still waiting on IR. So
Yeah.
So the doctor just came in, and he seems to think that I'm supposed to start another medicine before I have my tube surgery to see if the medicine helps me keep food down. And the medicine is oral. So I'm not sure how that'll work. And it's like really confusing. But then the doctor's fellow, like the doctor that answers to him, was all like, this morning he came in our room and he was like, oh, you're gonna be having surgery today. IR is gonna come evaluate you and then they're gonna take you down. And so then this other doctor comes in today, and he was like, oh wait, no, you're not having surgery. So then we're like, what? And so then IR still hasn't come to evaluate us. And so the doctor says, well, IR is probably gonna come evaluate you today, but you're not gonna have your surgery today because it's too late in the day to do your surgery. And so we're so confused. We have no idea what's happening right now. So we're waiting on the doctors to come in. Like all of my doctors are gonna come in at the same time in a couple minutes, and we're gonna see what happens. They restarted my fluids, so they stopped them yesterday because they had my sodium and chloride had been high, but now they're back to normal, so they restarted me because I'm dehydrated and all that fun stuff. So we have no idea what's happening right now, but hopefully when the doctors come in, we'll have a better idea. But welcome to the hospital life of up and downs. So the doctor just came in. Apparently I am getting a CT of my abdomen just to see where everything is. And then they are still planning on doing the surgery today. So, not sure. They said that since I'm already in radiology for my CT scan, they may just do it right after. 2 pieces left.
He's just letting her.
1,
I stopped a long time ago.
2. Yay! It's done.
It's also upside down.
It's also upside down. Yay! Yay! So, the head of neurology just came in, the brain doctors, and I finally have a diagnosis. Sorry. Something is wrong with my brain. It's similar. It's similar to epilepsy, but it's different. It's called pantopolis.
No, that wasn't quite right.
Pantopolis.
Paniotopolis.
Paniotopolis syndrome. Which explains everything. It explains my vomiting. It is in the vomiting center of my brain, so it's like when it's kind of like a seizure, but it's not, where it messes up and it just makes me vomit. I don't really understand, but also, like, why the blueberry hadn't digested is because it's messing up the digestive center of my brain. And then, why my vision changed, it's messing up the vision. So they think they can treat it with medicine. They think they're going to start me on a medicine tonight, and then in 24 hours, if it doesn't work, then we don't know. But my surgery for now is canceled. But, like, the head of neurology, like, she walked in, like, as the other doctors were coming to go, like, take me down. So she, like, walked in and she was like, no, you're not going to do her surgery today. So my surgery for my feeding tube is canceled because she wants to see if maybe this will work. I may still have to have surgery, but we don't know yet. I don't remember what else I was gonna say. Oh yeah. My eye problems, she doesn't know if that'll correct over time or anything. She's going to make an appointment to see an ophthalmologist, like a special eye doctor. And she said I may eventually grow out of this, where, like, cause your brain isn't, hang on, my nurse came in and started my medicine. It's, really loud. It's just a little, you can't really see it. Just a little bag. Takes 15 minutes to go in. Sorry. Yeah, so, your brain isn't fully developed until you're 25. So she is thinking that I may outgrow this. But even if I don't, it's, apparently pretty manageable with medicine. But, the EEG that I had today was apparently, like, this diagnosis was not even, like, a thought in anyone's brain. They just did the EEG so that they could, like, back out and be, like, prove that nothing's wrong and then come off my case. And then here I am. So, that was really, like, a God thing that we, finally have a diagnosis. And it's kind of overwhelming because, like, I'm really happy that they finally know what's wrong, but then, like, also, I'm like, there's something wrong with my brain. So gastroparesis has been ruled out, so I no longer, like, I was diagnosed with gastroparesis in October, and then I was undiagnosed, I think, like, last week or something. I don't remember. But apparently I've been undiagnosed. And I have, what is it? Polytopolis syndrome? Paniotopolis syndrome. It's gonna take me a while to remember that. Apparently it's named after the person who discovered it. Paniotopolis. Is that it? Paniotopolis? Paniotopolis.
CP or their initials? CP
Paniotopolis. We are kind of just waiting to see if this medicine works. Praise God for the diagnosis. And the EEG that wasn't supposed to show anything. Apparently, actually it is a seizure. It's an autonomic seizure. The autonomic, is like the thing that they thought. I have an autonomic dysfunction, which we're not sure 100% what's up with that. Like, if I actually have an autonomic dysfunction on top of that, or if it was just autonomic dysfunction because I was having, like, an autonomic seizure or something. Dad's poking his head in. So, fun times. At least I have a diagnosis. So, even though we got news that was kind of scary, I know I cried a lot, but we're actually super thankful. This diagnosis is mostly in little kids. So, it's also really, really hard to diagnose. So, extremely thankful we were able to diagnose it. And even though I cried a lot, they were actually happy tears. So I'm so thankful for a diagnosis, even though it's not necessarily the best diagnosis. I'm so thankful that we finally have a diagnosis and can take the next step. I'm going to head to bed, and I'll update you guys on what's happening tomorrow. Good night.